Arnold Schwarzenegger's rep says he's doing okay after being involved in a crazy car accident Friday night in L.A. The rep says he's fine. His only concern right now is for the woman who was injured. I have a couple of pictures, and I'm going to explain what you're seeing right now. TMZ says Arnold was driving a Yukon SUV when it collided with a red Prius, which is under right now in the picture. Mm-hmm. Yeah, his SUV started to roll and ended up on top of the Prius, then continued to roll onto a Porsche. Is it a Taycan?
Yeah.
So it's on two cars right now in the picture. The woman who was driving the Prius was reportedly badly injured. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ that they believe the accident was Arnold's fault. They say he was turning left, but there was a left turn arrow that was still red. He was not ticketed. An eyewitness said the crash was, it looked like something from a stunt movie. So he did not wait until it was safe to turn his left.
No. So my campaign, Doctor, is to turn through all red turn arrows when the signal is green.
That's 100% true.
Mm-hmm. Been doing it for...
Since I've known you.
Since you've known me.
Since
been 20
early
years.
2000s.
Never got a ticket.
Yeah.
Now,
well, neither did Arnold.
The light has to be green.
Funny.
And the arrow has to be red. And then there has to be no cars coming. And then you just turn.
That other piece.
But he didn't do that.
No.
He didn't wait for no cars. You have to do that part.
Right. And the car, as we saw in two pictures, literally monster trucked itself on top of two other cars.
Yeah. So it's funny. Well, I was thinking about this. When for a long time, like let's just say in the 50s, cars were just about the same size, about the same mass. And, you know, when they started out, everyone just had a Model T, and then they had a Model A, and then I think they went back to the T again or something like that. But everything was all sort of fighters in the same division. Everyone was a middleweight.
Same weight class,
They were all in the same weight class. Now you got the big Denali, Yukon, whatever with the, I mean, you got trucks, you got the Raptors, you got the Dodge Raptor, you got we got the Ford Raptor and the Dodge T-Rex and stuff. I mean, these huge tires, huge, 8,000 pounds. And then you got smart cars and little stuff and all this. And there's going to be a little mismatch. And also, if you're going to have a bunch of stuff with 36-inch snow tires and, 2 feet off the ground, and you run into something where the front bumper's 12 inches off the ground, the wedge effect, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And the little cars are safe now because they have airbags and crumple zones, and they've engineered a lot of this stuff. But nothing's safe enough to be rolled over on. And so you have to kind of think about it with giant trucks rolling around everywhere. Do you want to be in the Miata?
Well, and that's the other thing. I mean, none of us regular folk even knew what a Humvee was until Arnold Schwarzenegger drove one.
Right.
So if you're driving in the same town as this guy, you might want to take that into consideration.
But why not give him a ticket?
Because he was the governor.
I guess they didn't witness it.
Yeah. Who knows?
Tiger Woods didn't get a ticket for going.
No, my whole thing is if every ticket I've ever got that involved a moving violation was not for me hitting anyone or doing anything. It was the hypothetical.
Right.
You know how dangerous this you know how dangerous this could have been? There's a lot of that, but nothing ever happened.
You only get it for the simulated accident.
But when the shit actually goes down, no ticket?
No. That was, remember, a couple months ago, I showed that footage of this woman who was clearly high, smashing into that van in front of my house.
Right.
And she didn't get a ticket either. They just took her in an ambulance and got her checked out.
Well, we have this weird thing, which is like, well, of course, Tiger Woods was going 40 miles an hour faster than the posted speed limit, or he wouldn't have been able to get off that far off the road. But then we do a thing where they go, he suffered enough.
Victimless because he didn't hit anyone else.
Bill Cosby's son was executed.
No.
Do we go, well, don't indict him for rape. He suffered enough.
No.
Like, how's the law work? Either do it or you don't.
Yeah. Doesn't
All right.
work that way.
Sorry, I had to bring up Bill.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because
Really?
it sort of dovetails into this new finding that I'm sure we've heard in the last day or so. The FBI has announced that the boyfriend of Gabby Petito admitted killing her in a notebook that they discovered near his body in a Florida swamp. NPR News reports that it was the first time authorities squarely pinned the blame on Petito's death on Brian Laundrie. We've been speculating long enough, though he was the prime suspect all along, couldn't find him. So if you remember, Petito's body was found September 19th at a campground near Grand Teton. A coroner determined she had died 3 weeks earlier, blunt force and manual strangulation. Laundrie returned home to Florida, and there were texts coming from her phone that she couldn't have sent because she had been dead for that time. He went home to Florida in September when she went missing. October, his parents found an item belonging to him in a nature preserve, and after further searching that, they turned up Laundrie's remains, a revolver, a backpack, a notebook. Medical examiners determined he died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and they have this confession next to him.
Takes a lot of self-esteem to kill somebody. I think about all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it actually takes to strangle somebody to death?
I'm glad I don't.
Like a good 3 minutes. Like that's a long time. You're holding them, crushing their airway and keeping the blood out of their brain while they're kicking.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
It's not
really,
a quick thing.
I know.
I mean, it gives me hope if I'm ever attacked, but still, I don't like it.
And hate on the back of your helmet.
That's
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, that is, to me, that's not, an Alec Baldwin situation. The gun went off kind of thing. That is you doing it to this person
With your bare hands.
for a while.
Yeah.
And that person has to be looking at you because they were former boyfriend,
Yep.
whatever, neighbor or something. The first look is like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Yep.
I couldn't. You have to be a certain level of insane for that.
Yeah, I mean, what are the other choices besides a complete homicidal maniac and in self-defense? There's nothing in between.
Right.
You hate air.
Yeah,
But it's
mad at
also
air.
it's so primitive. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
to physically kill somebody that way. It's almost like you're prehistoric man.
Yeah.
Like even the people who just get into the street fights and like reach for the other person's neck. It's like, oh, that guy's kicking it old school in his brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a spinning wheel kick. You know what I mean? It's not something you learn in a
Yeah.
dojo. It is like
There's no art.
literally.
Yeah. No
Like
style
I
points.
think when you see like old people after they go crazy, like do that, they try to choke like the clerk behind the counter or
Right.
something. It's a weird. It's not
Caveman
that
brain.
It's not that effective, like at the supermarket and stuff. But it is caveman brain
Yeah.
popping out, right? The choke is caveman brain.
That's why you're circling the parking lot, waiting for the strangulation to be over.
That's right. Killer.
Well, let's do a little more football talk. We know the big broad strokes and the winners and stuff, but a couple other stories. Tom Brady experienced a first over the weekend when he was called for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, which was his first in 22 seasons. Did you guys see this?
Yeah.
Okay, so CBS Sports reports that Brady received the penalty due to arguing with the official after Von Miller just planted a hit that might have caused his lip to get a little bloody. The moneymaker. The hit caused Brady to scream at the referee. That was Sean Hochuli, I think, because...
Hockley.
Oh, thank you. Because there was no flag.
His dad was a famous one.
Ed
I was going to say,
Hockley.
how do you know who the ref is? There was no flag for roughing him. Hochuli wasn't buying what Brady was selling and gave the flag to Brady instead for getting mouthy. I'll just show you the full 20-second clip.
At the end of this play, and we even heard Tom Brady talking this week that he gets away with a little trash talking with opponents and the officials. Don't know what was said, but it was not to the liking of Hockley. Wow.
That's 3 15-yard penalties against Tampa Bay.
Look at my goddamn lip. He's
Yeah.
saying.
I've never seen him with an angry face.
Do you have
An indignant face.
Chris, find Jim Harbaugh when he played for the Bears.
They have it?
You can find a picture of him in his helmet. I think it's Jim
I
quarterback for the Bears.
believe
right?
so.
Yeah.
Jim was the quarterback. I think he played for the Bears.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can find a picture of him. So I was studying this. I study everything. Von Miller, Von Miller kind of launched himself, but he got mostly shoulder pad, but he caught him on the chin. Yeah. And it stings because you didn't have any protection on his chin. And they made a protective chin strap years ago. They've had them. Walter Payton used to play with one. A lot of guys.
I picture them,
A lot of guys played with them.
It is shocking the more quarterbacks especially don't use that. Like Aaron Rodgers was just the piece of felt.
Why opt out of the chin
This is good.
strap?
It's not him at the Bear. I don't know. I just hope I hope you don't think that's a Bear shot. Oh, Chris. Oh, dear Lord.
Navy and orange.
I just have Jim Harbaugh helmet. I have one on the Bears.
All right. But he
Looks like
always
a cup.
He always played with a kind of protective, hard thing because guys, stuff gets under there and hits hard. Some guys never played with that, but it's been around. It's been around for a while. Yeah, Walter Payton, I think, played with it. Maybe it was a Bears thing.
Who'd opt out? What's the downside?
You have no idea. Nobody in the NFL plays with a cup, protective cup.
What?
Nobody. Doesn't exist.
Oh, wow.
What are you talking about? Why?
I've interviewed these guys. First off, look at them, by the way. You can see a cup. There is no cup.
Just hog.
It's all hog.
They could break their penis.
Yeah.
Obvious, they can. You got to picture these guys. There is no cup. They don't play with the cup.
But why? What is their reasoning?
It's like
Slows them down.
uncomfortable, slows them down. They don't like it. That's how they roll. Like they just go, I don't like it. Like Dale Earnhardt Jr. Why don't you wear a Dale Earnhardt?
Right.
Why don't you wear a full face helmet in your race cars? I don't like it.
Okay, you're rolling the dice.
I could chew gum when I drive.
The plot thickens. Chris is looking for a picture, but I found a few. Brady in Michigan wore the padded chin strap.
He wore the
padded chin strap in Michigan.
There he is.
There he is.
So it's just a macho thing. Nobody's doing it, so I don't want to do it.
There's different kinds of helmets. One is called a bike, and it has like the weird cross thing, and it's leather, and you can literally see your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can watch Brady from yesterday. You can see him you see his skin coming through. And if Von Miller gets a head of steam and he comes around the corner, he's going to catch you. Mm. And I've always thought about this as I obsess over this stuff.
You do?
I do.
Oh.
That's what I think about.
Well, I have one more football.
So they're both right. Von speared him a little bit, but it wasn't really on Von.
Right.
You get smacked hard in the face that way, and so everyone's
You
right.
can do things.
He didn't like it. And
Right.
he got his first penalty on that. And let's do one more football story. I don't know if you guys saw this during the game. It certainly was Facebooked and tweeted heavily in my circle. A Chiefs fan who stormed the field during Sunday night's playoff game at Arrowhead was taken down by Bills stars Stephon Diggs and then immediately arrested. And I'll show you in a second. TMZ reports that the 20-year-old Jacob Ross sprinted onto the turf in the fourth quarter of the Buffalo-KC game when suddenly Diggs went after him.
Fucking Chiefs fans.
In video shot by a fan, you can see Diggs smashing into the guy. The fan eventually gets up, but was immediately taken down by security.
He barely missed killing that guy.
But
he glanced him, but he could have murdered him.
This guy has to be so drunk and probably went so limp because he gets up and he's kind of, into it and thinks he's badass. He's, pumping his fist. Look at this guy.
Well, Dick Butkus is the all-timer, right? That is Dick Butkus.
Was that Butkus? I think
no, it's
He just
Mike.
did 2 kicks in the air, 3 kicks in the air.
Yes. No, it's Ditka.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Mike
Ditka.
Ditka's
That one was
he's
awesome.
the best. He's
Yeah.
the best. I think we're living in a world where you run on the field drunk and a player on the other team clotheslines you and you get to sue that guy. We're there. I mean, you could because you go, look, I was drunk. I was on the field, but it's not his job. He's not the police of the field. There's security for this. And they are trained in non-lethal ways to get me off this field.
Technically, you're
the
right.
Flying, the flying shiver forearm is not. No, but let's just say he broke his jaw.
Yeah.
When he
No,
would
you're
definitely sue. Was it Stephon Diggs?
Yeah. Do we have time for one more? Mm-hmm. Dr. Wendy, I would love to get your opinion on this, and something tells me you may have talked about it just because it's so odd. So we know now that Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox are getting together, and they're affianced, and that's great. But Machine Gun Kelly designed an engagement ring for Megan Fox that will physically hurt if she tries to take it off. So they got engaged. It played a big part in the process. He played a big part in the process of this ring, and we're looking at it now. It's huge. It's both of their birthstones. It's gorgeous. It's giant. And there are these separate bonds that snap together. That's very nice. Here's the catch. In an interview with Vogue, he added that the bands have thorns all inside of them. So if she tries to take it off, it's going to hurt very badly. Do you think this sounds like a healthy relationship?
No, but that's severe mate guarding right there, right?
Mate guarding.
Part of
Megan Fox.
Yeah, so part of human mating strategy, of course, is you have to compete against same-sex mates to get someone. You have to attract someone, and then you have to retain them. And part of retaining a mate involves mate guarding. So this was is clearly an extreme form of mate guarding. But in today's times where women have so much power, this whole put a ring on her and keep her tied up seems very anti-feminist, right?
Yeah.
And also, does this ring, is it going to injure her just doing the dishes when it slides around?
Like,
I'm sure she has someone for that.
Yeah, right.
I always, there's a novel aspect that some couples get into where, Billy Bob
Yeah.
Thornton, like,
With
I have
the
a
vial
vial of
blood.
blood. It feels weird that I know about it.
This is what I would call an
didn't.
extreme anxious attachment.
Oh, wow.
It is. If I didn't know about it, I'd actually be fine with it.
That's your
Right.
thing.
Also, I didn't mention, there's no proof of it, but Megan Fox said in the Instagram post about the engagement, like, we did this, he engaged, he proposed, it was great, and then we drank each other's blood. So this is a thing.
Yeah, they're fused. Okay, so there's also, when those two anxious people find each other, remember the categories, the anxious, the avoidant, the secure, the disorganized. When two anxious people find each other, they become so enmeshed that emotionally they can't remember whose problem is whose. And while you would think it's nice to present a united front to the world, it's nice to be a couple, you can be too close. A healthy relationship are two circular Venn diagrams, right? Where you have two autonomous individual people and there's some great overlap where you enhance each other's lives. That's healthy, right? But
Not
this
when
kind
they're just sitting right on top of each other.
not drinking each other's blood, not wearing bear trap rings.
Well, the good part is they have the messiest breakups.
Oh, yes.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
So
Fun.
you're going to hear they're
Johnny
as,
Depp breakup.
Yeah,
Right.
they're as passionate about breaking up as they are getting together.
The Tiger
So-
Woods
True.
Golf Club breakup.
Right.
All those, yeah.
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 So
They're good.
as a society who has to hear the story about the vials of the blood and the
Yeah.
drinking of the blood and the ring that's like the spike strip that the highway patrol throws out for the guys who's on the prison break. And it's obnoxious. We get it back in
Yeah.
spades later on when they break up
It's an
and then
investment.
the feud breaks out and
Yes.
the tabloids
Yeah.
and we get our life back.
That's right.
That's how I get my life back. My precious moments, I get back.
That's right.
All right. We're bringing it home.
We'll do it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. I can't believe you got famous. You have no charisma, no charm.
eat a.
Oh, Brian.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Clean that up, Kelsey.
Dr. Wendy Walsh. You can find her radio show 4 to 6 out here, KFI 640. The podcast, Mating Matters. And then, of course, you can find her on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and her YouTube page. Dr. Wendy Walsh is where you go. Well, this is delightful, Doctor.
Nice to see you. I owe you a big thank you. Many, many years ago, maybe 6, 7, I held a cocktail party for the National Domestic Violence Hotline, and you sent over a few cases of margaritas for us. Thank you.
Oh, I did?
Yes, you did.
Well, you're quite welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a write-off. So you can go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. Coming up in Brea, February 6th, Bill Shatner's going to be on stage with me. Also, Dennis Quaid as well. Just go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. Until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Dr. Wendy Wallace, Gina Grad, and Bald Bryan saying mahalo. And then the cat gets up.
Oh, my.
Now, as the cats tangle,
They're gonna flop.
the
Look at the crow is dancing in delight.
He gets his front row seat to the fight.
And he goes down to the...
Now he's down watching them.
continues.
Now they're down on the ground level and they're fighting. If that crow lit a cigar and made a bet, I would not be surprised.